You ever come home expecting peace and find a war? That's what happened to me. I stepped off that plane, scars from Afghanistan still raw under my skin, and figured maybe I'd finally catch a break, just a little bit of quiet on my grandfather's old land out in Colorado. 18 acres, rough and stubborn, as the man who raised me passed down with nothing but a handshake and a will written in blue ink. My name on every line. I thought it'd be simple, turn the key kick off my boots, breathe in the old peach cobbler and motor oil, except the whole damn property was gone. Not gone exactly paved over, fenced up, and claimed by some HOA I'd never heard of. Granite crest. Classy sign, too. Surf font bright white, staring me down like I didn't belong. Gate with a keypad. Cameras like I was breaking into Fort Knox. The place smelled like chlorine and fresh grass, not sun-baked dirt and cattle. I must have sat in that rental truck for 10 minutes, blinking at the sign, wondering if maybe I'd gotten the address wrong. But my GPS said I was home. The deed in my glove box said I was home. Even the county clerk, Linda, bless her bored heart, read me the parcel number and confirmed it. Evan Marshall, owner, no liens, no HOA, no question. So why did the land look like a damn resort magazine? I got out, walked up to the gate, heart pounding, and that's when she showed up, the queen bee herself. Platinum bob sunglasses, big enough to see the future, tan so deep you'd think she slept in a toaster oven. She didn't introduce herself, just leaned out her white SUV, clipped words sharp as barbed wire. You have 30 seconds to explain why you're trespassing. I told her straight my name, my grandfather, my land. Didn't even raise my voice. She scoffed. Said the property was abandoned, rolled into community holdings years ago, and I'd better move along. She said, we have documentation. You can't just show up and claim land. I told her, yeah, you can, when it's yours. We stared at each other, me with the manila envelope, her clutching that steering wheel like it was the last life raft on the Titanic. She peeled off in a storm of gravel. Didn't matter. I'd seen enough. Something stunk, and after years overseas, you get a nose for rot. I took my paperwork straight to the county office, that old building smelling like sun-faded paper and bad coffee. The clerk didn't blink until I mentioned possible land fraud. Then he snapped, pulled up the files, and handed me something that made my hands go cold. According to the records, my 18 acres were transferred 5 years ago, abandoned, then signed over by one E. Marshall. Only problem, I was stationed halfway around the world at the time. The signature not mine. Not even close. You ever see your own name forged by someone with a shaky hand and a guilty conscience? That's what it looked like. The notary, Karen Reynolds, wasn't even legal anymore. License revoked for tampering. I filed a fraud claim right there, scheduled a meeting with a property attorney for the morning, and bought myself a drone at the hardware store. Yeah, that happened. Next day, I parked on the public road, flew the drone over my old property, and what I saw just about burned a hole in my chest. Tennis courts, pools, patios, solar panels, all of it stretching deep into my land. 6 acres, minimum. A black Range Rover rolled up some HOA goons, snapped a picture of my license plate, and drove off. That evening at the motel, I found a cease and desist letter. Unauthorized surveillance, they called it. I laughed, wrote back that any threats would be considered interference with lawful reclamation of real estate. I wasn't playing, not anymore. My attorney, Camille Alvarez, was a spitfire sharp, pissed, and thorough. She looked at the so-called disclaimer and shook her head. This is a felony, she said. Turns out that notary had rubber-stamped a handful of fake documents for HOAs across the county. Camille filed suit, property reclamation injunction against development fraud. I started cataloging everything: photos, maps, drone footage. She called it a starter kit for a legal Molotov cocktail. The real twist came when we subpoenaed Granite Crest's original filing. The notary, Karen Duvall, HOA president, the same woman who'd threatened to call the sheriff on me. She notarized my signature with her own name after her license had already been yanked. Bold right dumb, too. We pushed for internal communications, got blocked. Then one day, an anonymous USB showed up. A video grainy but clear enough. Karen at an HOA meeting bragging about absorbing the land, laughing that no one would care, telling her board, "It's not about legal, it's about control." That was it. The line between civil and criminal had been crossed. We sent everything to the DA, and suddenly Granite Crest started sweating. Security guards patrolled the gate like it was Area 51. Camille told me to lay low and keep documenting. That's when I found the real wedge, a forgotten 10-foot-wide easement legacy access road from the 40s, never claimed, right through the middle of their utility trench. I bought it under my family's old LLC for less than $500. Suddenly, I had the right to demand every document tied to that strip. HOA panicked. Court granted my motion. We got emails, Karen telling contractors to pour concrete fast before anyone asks questions. Hostile conversion in black and white. The courtroom wasn't fancy. No marble pillars, just tired carpet and a judge who looked allergic to HOA drama. Karen showed up, sunglasses on, indoors, lawyer at her side, looking like he'd made a big mistake. Camille laid out the whole story: inheritance, fake notary, video proof, GIS, maps, photos from my granddad's day. Karen tried to claim I was the fraud, that my will was fake. The judge nearly laughed her out of the room. Then the twist: she stood up, started shouting about witch hunts, called me a squatter, accused her own lawyer of betraying her. The bailiff escorted her out. I've never seen a room freeze so hard. After that, it was dominoes. The state attorney opened a criminal case: fraud, forgery, perjury, financial misconduct. Karen got indicted. Her mugshot hit the local news. She looked like a raccoon in a power suit, all the arrogance drained away. Camille froze Granite Crest's accounts. The HOA fell apart in weeks. Residents sued, houses went into foreclosure. The whole place unraveled. In the middle of it all, an old county archivist found 30-year-old photos of my dad and me as a baby, standing next to a boundary stone Marshall 1956 carved in. Physical proof. Game, set, match. The judge restored my property, ordered Granite Crest to pay damages, turned over all structures built on my land, and sent Karen's case to the DA for prosecution. Some families worried they'd lose their homes. I didn't want that. Wasn't their fault. So Camille drafted interim agreements, let them rent back at cost until we sorted it out. I rebuilt the old farmhouse, cleaned up what was left of my grandfather's barn, kept the weather vane he welded by hand. Granite Crest faded into history. The last day I hosted a little get-together, no speeches, just quiet. I screwed a plaque into the new gazebo: private property, inherited, not for sale, ever. Camille raised her glass. Little dramatic, don't you think? I told her there's no such thing in Colorado. As the sun went down, I opened a letter my grandfather left for me. One line: don't let anyone take it. Not ever. You better believe I listened. So here's my question to you: who really owns the land we build our lives on? The ones who inherit it, the ones who fight for it, or the ones bold enough to try and steal it when nobody's looking? Drop your answer in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from, or share your own war stories with HOAs and justice. And if you believe in fighting for what's right, hit subscribe, because some things are worth defending all the way down to the last inch of dirt.